Music is another form of art to which I would like to devote my time on this channel, because many great films like The Whiplash or Bohemian Rhapsody are telling stories how music was created and how important it is for us. Hans Zimmer, Ennio Morricone, Howard Shore, or John Williams. These are only few examples of music composers from many, who create unforgettable music for many movies, but today I would like to go even further and talk about one of the most influential guitarists of our time, John Frusciante. I am very excited about this video, so let's jump right into it. John Frusciante, also known as is to many people a guitar hero, best known as a leading guitarist for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. In this video, I would like to discuss the lesser known aspects about John, which haven't reached a mainstream like his work with the Chili Peppers. I would like to take a closer look on how John perceives music and the creative process. What are his thoughts on his inspirations, thanks to which he creates hours of unforgettable music? Also, I would like to talk about his solo albums, which have only a couple of 100,000 views on YouTube, but these are undoubtedly musical masterpieces. But to go one by one, we can say at the beginning that the John is mainly known for his playing with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. With them, he released 7 studio albums over the 34 years. Apart from this, he also created 12 solo albums, and during these years he also created 2 internet-only released albums, 7 EPs, as well as 2 albums with collaboration of Joe Lally and Josh Klinghoffer. Also, he created plenty of songs for Chili Peppers B-sides albums, and he said about these B-sides that they contain some of his favorite songs he has ever written. Both are exceptional in their own way, but Chili Peppers have in most of their songs brighter and more positive sound. On the other hand, John's solo work are mostly more profound, darker, and undoubtedly more intimate. That's why John's solo music is often described as a deep and touching. It's primarily on his solo albums where a pure, gentle, sensitive and profound soul is revealed. It's hard to explain or write about feelings from this music and these songs. Through the music of his solo recordings, you can hear Frusciante's excellence as a singer, composer and lyricist. When you read his songs' lyrics, they have deep meaning, and these are pieces of art by itself. If you are not familiar with John's solo work, try check on YouTube songs like The Days Have Turned, Scratchers, The Will to Death, Time Tonight, The Past Receipts, This Cold, or Unreachable, and you will be probably stunned with these beautiful songs full of emotions. When you also check comments under these videos, they are full of profound connections to these songs and how they help to people all around the world. What I also need to mention here is another proof how Frusciante goes deep into his music. On his album The Empyrean from year 2009 are 2 songs, One More of Me and Enough of Me. When you place these 2 songs simultaneously, they will form a new song consist from these 2. When you will type on YouTube Enough of Me and One More of Me combined, you can listen to it, and it's freaking goddamn awesome. Many people to which I spoke about Frusciante told me that they feel special bond with his music. They feel strong emotions to his music, and same emotions probably also have John when he was composing these songs, so they assume they can understand him to some degree also as a human being. About John's exceptional ability to create music could be said that it has been developed through decades of hard work, education in music theory, scales, chord progressions, and playing a vast amount of his favorite albums from which he could draw inspirations. All this is certainly true, but according to John, it is not everything, and for composing music, there is more than meet the eye. Lots of people think that this process of making music is passing our logical and reasoning part of the mind and goes to our deeper subconsciousness, intuitive and creative center of the brain. However, there is also something much larger and deeper going on. John sees music as something transcendental which connects people in a bigger way. As he said, when people comes to the show, they are all feeling what each other is feeling. To be able to feel that what is in you is in everybody around you, I think, is your ability to experience the real truth of what is really going on, that it's all one thing. Because of his guitar playing style, John is often described as a guitar god and plays high atop of rock and roll pedestal of guitar heroes. Because of his beliefs, John sees himself as a literal opposite of such high and mighty person. He sees himself by his words just like servant to a creative force of universe, or the source, or God, or whatever you want to call it. John is talking about sort of paradigm shift, a shift from egocentric cultural standard to a more extensive, greater source of view.
I think the force that created us is expressing itself through our existence. I don't believe that a musical idea starts in your brain. I believe it starts at a place before that we don't have any direct contact with. And I believe that everything that we do, everything that we create is nature expressing itself the same way that when a flower grows out of the ground or a tree grows out of the ground, it's nature expressing itself. And you might say that the tree is expressing itself by the way its branches move out, but it's the force that drives nature.
He also has unusual opinion about his music. John thinks that he isn't creating his own music, just channeling it, and it goes through him, so he is not a figure which should be glorified. As he said,
the idea of somebody considering themselves responsible for a piece of music is ridiculous. We're only acting into the laws of nature that have given us the possibilities that we're exploring with the intelligence that we've been given. You know, something like the frequency spectrum from low to high. That's here whether we're here or not. It exists as part of the structure of physical reality, and our brains are learning to interact with it through learning an instrument, you know.
Because of this, he didn't believe that person owned his music, so awards and all marketing which was created around the music industry is due to him quite silly.
I think it's been the big lie that's been perpetuated ever since the star-making machine of Hollywood started, that the thing responsible for a great actor or a great musician, it's just been continued by the music business, is they get this idea into the public's head that it's the physical image of the person and the name of the person that is responsible for the creation of what they do. That's not what creates it. What creates it is the imagination, and the thing that makes it possible for one person to be in the right place at the right time in their life to create the things that they create. It has to do with a really complex structure of the mind and the soul and the nervous system.
Many people idealize John and place him in the role of a musical icon. He always opposed this position and said that he doesn't even care how people perceive him. For him, it's important to know who he is for himself. In this next audio, John is talking about how meaningless are all aspects of musician outside of his music he creates, on example of Jimi Hendrix.
Nobody understands why it is that results in it, but it's not because Jimi Hendrix looked the way he looked. It's not because Jimi Hendrix danced the way he danced, or because his name was Jimi Hendrix, you know. It's like these things are just meaningless, yet the way that the business has used these media tools has perpetuated this idea that what's important is that he's the greatest guitarist ever, and he's Jimi Hendrix, and there's his picture, that's him. And it's like the only real picture of him is his music, you know. The only thing that we should be like putting up on a pedestal is the works of somebody's imagination.
Because of this, to John an image of rock star is simply meaningless, and many of these aspects of modern music industry pointless.
I don't believe that the human being is the star, and I don't believe their name is the star. I think it's their imagination that's the star, and just because it's something you can't package, just because it's something you can't take a picture of, just because it's something you can't measure by it's #1 or it's sold this amount or this many people love it or this many people come to see it, there's no way to quantify the imagination, and there's no way to sell it directly.
As a Flea told about him, quote, "He really don't give a fuck about fame. He really don't give a single fuck." End quote. In the context of his introversion and social awkwardness with strangers, the fact that he is adored by thousands of people put him in not very comfortable position during public events or random meetings with fans during tours. However, since he takes the fame as a byproduct of his work which he loves, he takes the fame as a necessary part of the whole. As John said, if you don't follow the interest inside you that compel you to do things, your life will just gradually lose meaning until you are old. So this was in a nutshell all what I want to discuss about John. What are you guys think about all his ideas? How deep are you into his music and projects? Let me know in the comments. As you can guess, I have a close relationship with John's music. It was reason why I've been playing the guitar for the last 13 years, and to this day he is a primary musical inspiration for me. Thanks to this, I made this video as a tribute to his opinions and thoughts. Anyway, as always, thanks for your time, and I will see you in the next video.